Good morning. It's 11 a.m. here. I'm Emily Blake, and you are watching the Pandemic Diary 2020 with myself and Joan Achong. This show is where we look at the lives of people from all over the world, from all different backgrounds, of different life experience, and we talk about how COVID-19 has negatively or positively impacted their lives. So today we're really lucky to be joined by Courtney Doldron, and he is joining us from Toronto, Canada. He's an absolute expert all around the world, educator, and we're really excited to talk to him and learn some more about all of his wonderful experiences. We're also joined by Eva Believer. We've got two for the price of one today, guys. Eva is a plus-size model. She's a singer, and as you can see, absolutely stunning. So very lucky to be joined by two brilliant guests today. Where's my co-host at, Joan? How are you today?
Hi, good morning, Emily. I'm here hiding in the background while you're introducing our lovely guest for today. How are you doing? Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on the show. Remember to go to our page, like, subscribe, and do place your comments. You could go to Vox Index on the YouTube channel, like, share, and do make your comments. Let us know whether you're enjoying the show or how we could improve, or what you're enjoying best about the show. Thank you for joining us again. We'll be doing this from Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. and it's 11 a.m. GMT. We're doing this from England, London, and Norfolk, and all over the place. But the base is in London. The base is in Norfolk. We're in the UK, broadcasting worldwide. So please join us. We've given you a few seconds. Go click like and enjoy the rest of the show, folks.
So let's talk to Courtney. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So what are things like in Canada right now?
Well, it is, to say the least, pretty good. From a federal standpoint, because we have 10 provinces and 3 territories. The 3 most affected provinces are Quebec, Ontario, and BC. We have a population of just over 37 million people, and we only have about 550 something deaths and about close to 8,000 infected, and about 3,000 off the infection list. So we are doing pretty well for a large country geographically.
Yeah, absolutely. And how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling well. I'm under lockdown. I've been under lockdown for the past 6 weeks. I'm obeying the rules, you know. If you stay your distance 6 feet apart, as they're recommending, go outside when it's only necessary, avoid mingling and keeping your distance, you will survive the pandemic. Those who are blatantly disregarding the policies that are in place are the ones who will get infected more seriously than others. For the most part, those who are infected here seriously are those who are in retirement home, nursing homes, and places like that.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, it's one of the top stories in the UK today is the concern that people in care homes are being neglected because they're really unsafe, and the actual figures for the deaths in care homes apparently aren't included, excuse me, in our overall death toll figures. So that's a concern here in the UK as well.
Yes.
Courtney, tell us about everything that you do then, please. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, well, as you are quite aware, I was born and raised in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and I've been living in Toronto for the last 47 years. I'm a retired high school teacher, and I'm a Rotarian. I'm with the Rotary Club of Willowdale, past president, and I am also an assistant district governor for District 7070. And I retired in 2009, and since then I've been working with several NGOs doing professional development, teacher training model in Africa. We've been to South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and Ghana. And we have been doing work in the Caribbean and Canada. So I have been peddling my trade in retirement. So I'm retired, but I'm not tired. How about that?
And still very busy by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I do other projects with other NGOs, non-educational related, because in Rotary we're a service club and the motto is service above self. So we do all different types of programs, both locally and internationally.
Okay. Now, Courtney, can I ask you something? What is home life and family life like at this present time? How has COVID-19 affected your home and family life? Because I know you're a father.
Fortunately for me, all my kids are married and out of now. They are close by. It's just Jan and I here, and we are surviving because, as you know, she is ill right now. So we have to have special care for her and special attention because she is one of those at the risk level, high risk level. So she has to be protected, wear masks while you're out, wear gloves, and all those things. With respect to the kids and the grandchildren, they're all home because we have this lockdown by the government. Only essential people are out working, everybody else are off. It's affecting my last daughter the most because her husband has his own business and it's closed now, and we don't know when it will be open because they're talking now extending everything until the end of May. So that is no income coming in. And then she was also working as a director for special events and fundraising with the Royal Ontario Museum, and that's a public place, and they are closed. So both of them are home doing nothing and no income coming. So it's tough.
Eva,
Conversation, Eva. Tell us about yourself, Eva. What do you do? How are you coping in the period of staying at home?
Oh my God, I can talk endlessly. So basically, my life changed 100%. As you know, I'm a professional model. And actually, like the biggest income that I was receiving is from modeling. And I was doing fitting modeling. I was recently shooting catalog for the brands. I also did catwalks, showrooms. Also, because I am a professional teacher, I do teach singing in a theatre musical school and, giving private lessons as well. So basically today, all of this just literally ended. I have no job. I'm jobless, literally. But also, I'm a voiceover artist. So until the middle of March, I was still going to the studios in central London and West London. And I was sounding sort of adverts and, all the voiceover artists do it. Yeah. Right now, I'm just living like jobless life. Well, I'm still teaching online. I do give singing lessons online. But I find this very difficult because, most of the time, for some unknown reason, the network providers are working absolutely badly. And the reception in my house is still okay, but at people's houses, it's just really low. So I find that teaching singing is so problematic as well. I just have another big problem because the brands that I worked, I think lots of people doing this, they're taking advantage of the situation. And for example, for the bookings that I had January or February, where it was nothing to do with quarantine and, we didn't know we we're going to have it. These brands are not paying me salary, which I earned with my hard work because I worked until the middle of March, saying that they're doing bad. Even they kept booking me until middle of March, and they're doing quite well because they're selling online and their products are quite expensive and they're being, bought really well. So my situation is just that today. I don't know how I'm going to survive at this moment.
Really, that is very trying because it's something that myself and Emily discussed yesterday. For those of us who are in the entertainment, the fashion world, we are being impacted the most. we are sort of seen as self-employed. So if we don't show up, we don't get paid. If there's no events, we don't get paid. I had actually lost a few bookings for television presenting and food festival, the Jerk and Beyond Food Festival. They all had to be postponed and canceled because of the COVID virus and the lockdown and stay-at-home policy.
I know, but the most actually I wanted to express my disappointment because mostly I'm disappointed by these so-called big brands that I got used to work for years. Because, you know, when the quarantine started, we had a plans to do, for example, fitting modeling online. So which means that they're sending me samples. I'm quite experienced. I did for some brands. But, you know, after receiving those, just talking about them, just fitting them myself, filming it, like commenting on it. So that's absolutely fine for some brands. But weirdest thing is that brands are smaller brands. They just very like minor brands. And the ones, the big ones, suddenly says that they don't have money for delivery. You know, they can't collect clothes back. I mean, this is absolute rejection. I just don't understand. And I don't know what's going to happen after the quarantine is going to be over, how they're going to be communicating with us and looking straight in our faces, because this is complete disgrace.
Yeah. And right now, I think folks will be able to see Eva's page, Facebook page, where she's modeling. And she's a very active model on the QVC channel. I've seen you modeling on the QVC, and I've seen you doing the runway in Fashion Week in New York.
Yeah. And I'm familiar with Ideal World. I'm really happy about that too.
You've had a very good career run. I'm very, you know, I follow you as well. So how are you? Is there any positives that's coming out of the COVID-19? What are you doing now that you, in order to develop you as an artist, you as an individual, to cope for the future, to avoid things like this happening to you in the future?
You know, to be honest, the only thing that probably is positive out of all of this, I have so much time for myself and for the things that I never had time to do. So, for example, at the first place, I can sleep as much as I want, and I still can't get enough. The second thing, I can read books that I wanted to read because as a voiceover artist, I had plans to start recording books. And I just feel sorry for myself that I didn't make a right investment on time. So I didn't buy the microphone and maybe I didn't make some studio space at home, because this is my favorite job. I can watch lots of psychology videos because I'm very much into psychology. You know, I can talk to my family any time of the day because everyone's in Lithuania, because I'm Lithuanian. I'm first plus size Lithuanian model in UK. So all my family also, they don't work, you know, they work from home. My dad works from home. Everybody's also home all the time. So this is positive. But to be very honest, I personally think, I know it's terrible to say, but I think that I already had coronavirus myself. Because, you know, while I was modeling for one of the brands that they don't pay me now, I was doing this until middle of March. And one of the girls, she was traveling to, I think, to Thailand. And she came back at this very peak time and she never tested herself. So I probably got it from there. So what happened is today I feel completely fine. My voice is still sore, but for 2 weeks, I swear, guys, I had a high temperature. Then I had super low temperature. Then I had a terrible loss of smell and taste for like nearly 7 days. I'm still not recovered fully. I had a terrible headaches. I had absolutely no powers to do anything. And then, you know, because my sister also had the same symptoms, plus she had terrible back pains and, you know, joint pains. We called 111 because, you know, at some point she had very bad pains while breathing. And we've been told to go to the hospital to do X-ray, which actually shocked me, because how can you go to hospital when you're being told that you have all the possible coronavirus features? So anyways, I'm really grateful that everything's passed by so, you know, quite easy. And I feel I'm not really that much affected, you know, because I started to do like some training routine, you know, some sport activities, and I'm just quite good. Because I know people who died, my friends, they died and they were only like from 30 to 40 years. old, and this is very dangerous only when you sit home, because I have a garden. I'm going drinking coffee in the morning, sun's shining. I feel like I'm just so away from all of it. But it's fine. Maybe it's just gone, because I look through the window and people just, even now, they're just literally walking, couples, families, neighbors meeting in the street, like, hugging each other. And it looks like nothing's happening. But then I talk to people, to my friends, to some student parents I teach, and they working in a hospital. So they start telling me things like how people dying, how there's no spaces in hospital. For example, one of them, she works in Charing Cross Hospital, the famous one. And, she says that people have no beds. They're being, placed in the corridors. There's no masks. There's no protection. It's everything terrible. 75% of staff are literally going off sick. So there's nobody to work there. And then I suddenly realized, okay, stay home. Nothing's over. It just started. Because I think I passed all of this, so I kind of feel safer. But I think there's no immune system for coronavirus, unfortunately.
Yeah, so there's no evidence saying that you couldn't get it again. So whereabouts in the country are you, Eva? Are you in London?
Thankfully, I'm in London. I'm not even too far from central London. So, when quarantine nearly started, I still had some bookings, for the voiceover, which actually is the safest job, because, all you need to do is to book a cab, to put the respirator or mask, and then you're going in the studio and there's only one person, is the sound engineer, which is in a different room. So I still could travel, I still could book cab, and Uber and stuff, and it wasn't too expensive. But I think if I would live outside London, maybe it would be safer for me, because there's less of people, less of communication. It's not so busy like in London, because I think London is the most dangerous city in England regarding coronavirus. But I'm so happy to be here, because I still have a garden. I mean, I feel like I live in the village, but at the same time, I'm kind of in the center of everything. So yeah,
that's why I asked, because it sounded like you were sort of away from things, and you're so lucky to have that bit of outdoor space as well. And I think at a time like this, it really does kind of make us grateful for things that we may have overlooked before, just having somewhere that's outside, because lots of people are living in apartments. Joan, you don't have any outdoor space, do you?
I don't have any outdoor space. No, I'm in an apartment and I'm on the 4th floor. Luckily, we only have 5 floors, so I'm not in those big tall buildings. And yesterday, when I went for my walk after the show, I had to use the elevator to go in and go out. And outside the elevator, it says the warning of coronavirus, stay indoors. If you're traveling in the elevator, only for the vulnerable. The rest of people who could use the stairs, they encourage them to use the stairwells, and leave the elevators just for the vulnerable to use and give access to. Yeah. So
you feel a bit that you're a bit paranoid now? Do you find that we're all sort of overthinking things we would normally not think about? Courtney, do you think that you will act in a different way after this has happened? Will you be, looking out for more things? Will you be taking extra care? Because for me, I haven't been to a shop in about 4 weeks. I'm terrified to do that. I'm going for a little walk, but I don't want to go to a shop. So, is there any new habits that you've developed that you will keep, do you think?
Not necessarily. I'm an adventurous. I'm an outdoor type of person, so I am just waiting for the lockdown to be lifted so I can go back to doing the things that I normally do and the things that I enjoy. Having said that, I'm enjoying the moments I have now. Being at home, I'm in the kitchen a lot, baking, cooking, watching old movies, doing all those things that I haven't had an opportunity to do for many years. But this will not change my lifestyle. This will just make me more proactive, because I am a guy who have to be very active to survive.
Oh, I love that. That's a really positive outlook, isn't it? Joan was saying she's been baking a banana. What was it? Banana loaf, Joan?
Coconut bake.
Coconut bake.
You're suggesting banana. I've never made banana bake, but I've been baking a lot of coconut bakes of lately. It's tasting really good. Sometimes I'm finishing all 1 in the morning I start at night. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm bored. Let me do something. I bake coconut bakes, and I'm like, why am I baking all of this bake? It's only myself in the apartment because I'm not having people to my place, and I'm not going to anyone's place. I communicate via the telephone or WhatsApp, and that's it. I'm not visiting. But however, I have been going out to the corner shops from time to time, and when I go, I will wear gloves. I'll always wear gloves. I have not been diligent with blocking my face. Apart from yesterday, I started doing that because of the hay fever. So I put the scarf around my face. I put on my cap, and to protect myself from the air that we're breathing and all the dust and the pollen. I'm not doing it for coronavirus, but to avoid being you know, avoid the pollen, because it triggers me off. The other day I went for a walk and my entire face was itching at the end of the walk, and my throat and my airways were itching me. So I said, if I'm stepping out there for my exercise, I'm going to put a scarf around my nose and mouth and take a stroll and come back home. Yeah.
Let us know if you're watching and you have changed anything from what you're doing day to day. Have you got any new habits? Are you going to be keeping those habits after this is over? How do you think your life is going to be once we're through this? I know we're probably going to have different outlooks on life, and I love Courtney's answer about it's going to make him more proactive. And, for me, I feel the same. It makes me want to do more. I want to see more. I want to experience more. But I certainly will probably be a little bit, when I'm in a supermarket, I'm going to maybe be keeping my distance.
I will remain a bit cautious. I will remain cautious, around people. I wouldn't want them too close to me.
Yeah.
And that is about it. But I'd like to go up and about and enjoy the sunshine and enjoy going to the park and just chilling and relaxing. Eva, is there anything you'd like to say about once this quarantine or the stay at home is removed? What do you think you're going to be doing once it's gone?
Oh my God, I don't know actually, because I'm just going with the flow. As I said, I never can plan my life because I never thought it's gonna happen to me, because I thought modeling was just on top. Especially this year, I was so busy, bookings every day. I worked 6 days a week, I swear, and Sundays I was going to the aqua classes and to the church. So practically I had no day offs. And right now everything's just over. Well, I'm not stressed in terms that if I need to stay home. I'm a very actually home person. I always have something to do, even if I'm absolutely alone. Since I was a child, I have no problem at all. I always have something to do. I'm very creative. I have so many things. I have piano in my house. So actually, because I bought it quite a long time ago, since I was playing piano in the restaurant for 7 years. My sister was laughing. She said, you spent thousands and now you only keep your computer on it. Like your laptop, because I didn't open the piano, I didn't play. But right now, because I'm doing online lessons, I don't know. I just think that I definitely will do the right investment, and I'm going to go for something that, as I said, I wanted to go. So, for example, there's no secret. I'm a voiceover artist, and I really wanted to do these books. But I always thought, okay, because I just need a bit of money. I just need to earn. I need to go there. I need to meet these friends, or that's birthday, or something like that. So basically, I definitely will concentrate on something that is my dream to follow. And realistically, I haven't started yet because, as I said, I thought I have coronavirus and I was very powerless. But I think from this week, I'm just constantly will start going like baby step towards that thing, because it is very important. Because today we just literally stopped and looked at what we did. Like, for example, so many people going to work like every single day. They didn't have time for each other. But, money-wise, I know people that really struggling financially. And you've been working all the time. You spend so much time, in the city, in the tubes, and all of these places. And today you're just struggling without nothing. So I think the other thing for people to think, it's very important to have your savings, which I am so bad with, because I thought, okay, from next year, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to go on holidays. But I think it is very important because, to be honest, I have friends all over the world. And for example, some of my friends, they're private music teachers. Particular girl, my friend, she lives in Ireland, and I'm just wondering how different things work there. She has 2 kids. Okay, she is renting the place with her husband, and the quarantine was exactly announced on a particular date. She's self-employed. She was told to fill the form. In 2 weeks, she started getting help, financial help, from the government, which never happens here. I don't even know what's going to happen.
It takes 5 weeks in England for the process to continue. You could sign on, and it takes 5 to 6 weeks. You will have no financial aid for 5, 6 weeks. And
Exactly.
This is where people are struggling.
Yeah, how much you're gonna get? I mean, will it be enough for you? Because, for example, in my current situation, one of my friends that got used to live with us for a very long time, he decided to move. And he decided quite a few months ago. So he signed a new contract in a completely different area. And now I will need to cope with all of these expenses. So I think money is the most stressful thing for me at this moment. I'm not stressing. I'm not saying that I'm dying from stress, but first thing to think, it is money. Because everything else, staying home, having time for myself, I have plenty of things to do, creativity, everything's fine. It's just accepting money that I'm worried about. But hopefully with the God helps, we can get through it.
Because our bills still have to get paid. We still have to pay our bills. And, people who are living in social housing and they're using the cards and the keys to top up the gas and electric and the water rates, they still have to get that money in. And what we are finding out and what we're realizing, most people are spending their money, their benefits on food and essential items. And the items are going up in value. The government says they're protecting this, but I don't think they're doing a very good job on keeping the prices down, because you go to the supermarkets, the toilet paper is whoa. And people are even making jokes and fun about the toilet paper. You could pay for your drinks by giving out a few sheets of toilet paper, and people are laughing about it. But this is really serious,
But
So,
I think also, yeah, we should talk not even about toilet paper, but for example, about the sample masks or respirators. This is a joke. I bought quite few because, as I said, I still needed to go to the studio and I needed to book a cab to take Uber. I tried to take Uber XL because, my expenses were paid. So I sat quite far away from driver, but still I wanted to buy these respirators. It was terribly hard to get them at the first place. And at the second, for one respirator, I paid £35. And for the other one was FFP2, which is quite strong, is 95% protecting from virus, particularly because masks only protecting you from dust. They don't do anything to you to protect you. So basically, I spent nearly over £100 for masks that are not even like a permanent thing. You still will need to throw them away after a few times of use. So I just find this is ridiculous because the friend of mine who works in hospital, she mentioned that, for example, they got delivery, quite a few masks, and they were stolen. And people who probably did it, right now, they're just selling it on Amazon, on eBay. I don't know why places are not protected from this.
Really awful.
This is ridiculous. Yeah,
really
absolutely horrible.
Yeah, and this is what you're noticing. The meanness and instincts of human beings are actually showing itself. People are getting a bit mean and selfish, with the food.
I think that it's happening.
There's enough for the country. That's what the government said. There's enough for the country, but people are stockpiling. And like you said, some nurses, I was told, they were being mugged. They had to be very extra careful. They were being mugged for their staff ID so they could access the groceries like Tesco supermarkets, Sainsbury's and all Morrison's and all the big names in the UK. So they'll be able to go and get their groceries ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, I think what this situation does, it brings to the forefront the absolute positives and the absolute negatives. So, that behavior then becomes highlighted. And on the opposite side, we've got amazing people out there, doing community work, people that were retired from the NHS have stepped back in to help. So it's important to remember as well that there is a lot of good stuff going on, and we have to make sure that we give them our attention as well. And talking about the community aspect, I'm going to go back to Courtney and the Rotary clubs. Can you just tell us, for anyone who doesn't know, what these Rotary clubs involve?
Okay, it's an international organization, for those of you all who don't know. Started in Chicago about 107 years ago. And we have about 1.2 million clubs worldwide, and quite a few in England and Ireland, well, let's say the UK, for the lack of better words. And in Canada, we have had district-wide and Canadian-wide move to purchase masks, gloves, and all different kind of COVID-19 equipments to supply to hospitals, local community health care centers, and nursing homes that are in shortage. We have 2 members of my Rotary Club who have an import-export business, and they have been bringing in products from Taiwan and China and donating it and distributing it. So that's the whole idea about the service above self, where Rotarians get together. Most of us are business people. We pool our money. We know how to source things, and we know how to get them distributed. One of the major factors for me that I have learned, because we all live in our own little cocoon on a regular basis, but when a pandemic or a crisis happens, we realize that we got to step out of that cocoon. We got to look at things outside of the box. And my grandmother used to say, poverty is hell. And within a large city like Toronto, you don't see the poverty. But when something like this happens, you really see it. The food banks are empty. The shelters are packed. So those are the people who are in dire straits. Those are the people who are in need. So we have been working with a lot of people, NGOs, internationally for the most part. Now we have to look internally and work with a lot of people locally, because they're the ones that are hurting. They're the ones that are in need, and they're the ones that the COVID-19 are affecting the most. So that's what we are doing, to say the least.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for explaining that. And it's brilliant that we have these amazing organizations with such wealth, of knowledge, and people who know how to help people. So I saw your Facebook cover picture, Courtney, and it's saying, "What is Rotary?" And I didn't realize that so much, actually was involved. It says teamwork, communication skills, new friendships, connections, speaking and professional development opportunities, international aid. This is all absolutely fantastic. And
we need to spread our name out. We need to brand ourselves more, because a lot of people don't know about Rotary, don't know what Rotary stands for, and don't know what we do in the community. So this pandemic is giving us an opportunity for people to really see us out there in the community and know what we are doing.
Absolutely.
Y'all do such amazing work. A lot of amazing work. I've been involved with the Rotary a few years ago, and it was a project involving helping young women in areas to be educated where they will normally not be educated, like India, Africa, and certain places in the Caribbean. And I went to one of the fundraisers, and they were raising funds for the girls and encouraging women empowerment and encouraging these girls to be educated, because in some countries around the world, they were not educating the young women. The value was placed basically on the boys and not the girls. And you of the Rotary, I was so happy to see the work that y'all were doing, and I went to that fundraising. So that's how I was introduced to the Rotary a few years ago at one of the fundraising through one of my friends, a doctor. And it's as though those who have, they're giving back. The Rotary gives back. Their network of people worldwide, millions of them worldwide, they give back to society and they do a lot of charitable works and help. And I'm so happy that you all are taking such a active part with the COVID-19 and helping people worldwide.
Yeah,
Thank you
our major international project is to end polio. We are the driving force with Bill Gates Foundation and the UN, and we to eradicate polio globally. And there's only about 2 polio cases in the world right now.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Practically stamped out. And also, you are a president and the founder of a company. I think it's America's. What's that about?
Foundation for Children.
What do you do through that foundation?
We help children educationally. We help them to get scholarship too, because not everybody can afford to go to college or university after high school. So that's primarily what we do. And we do a reading program, a specialized reading program. Like we have one attached to the University of the West Indies in Trinidad through the Department of Education. And I'm also with EBB, Education Beyond Border. You could Google it after, www.educationbeyondborder.org. And that's the one that we do the Train the Trainer program in Africa. And it's a 5-year Train the Trainer program, and it's sustainable. And at the end of the 5 years, those who graduate through it can move on and start their own new project with year 1. And I am with LitRag, which is within Rotary, we have our own Rotarian action groups. So LitRag is the Literacy Rotarian Action Group, and I'm the current secretary, and that is global. And we have another project in Guatemala called the Guatemala Literacy Project that we finance, and we finance other literacy projects worldwide that people bring to our attention. So if you have one in England, you can bring it to any Rotarian group in England attention, and they would look after it and get the appropriate needs, lessons, plans, books, and money to finance the program, whether it's after school, before school, or during school.
Oh, that's brilliant. And that's Education Beyond Borders.
Yes.
Google it. I'm on the website now, looking at all the photos. I'd love to get myself involved. So please make sure if you're watching.
Membership is free. Yeah. So you could go to the website and sign up and tell them, use me as your contact. Yeah. I'm one of the past vice president of the organization. So.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much. Those of you watching as well, please leave us your comments. We have a question in for Eva. Say hello to us if you are watching. Any questions for our guests? Would love to read them out. So we've got Eva. How has the pandemic shaped your life? Where do you see yourself in the future? We did touch on that a little bit, but just tell us, what your answer
and
to
it's
this
from
question.
Nika. Nika is the one sending in the question. Nika, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. I think she's Lithuanian because I can see her surname as well. Oh my God, my life became terrible. I'm meditating 24/7. Just doing nothing. No, I'm joking. So as I said, my life changed because I have so much time for myself. I'm trying to move to, with the jobs and things that I always wanted to do. The only thing, as I said, I'm worried is the financial side of my life. And I think that's probably 99% of people worried about that. So, yeah, but I wouldn't say that it's something bad, like terribly bad for me. This quarantine really gave me opportunities, to face myself with lots of things, to decide what is more important in my life, what I want to do, how I want to do. The relationship with people actually is another good thing and good topic, because during this stressful time, lots of people become sort of, they're taking the masks off, let's so say. I mean, they need to wear the physical masks, but they're taking the emotional masks off, and you can see like who actually was very important to your life and who you were important to, because some people, even having so much time, they don't get back to you at all. Because obviously they don't need nothing for work, they don't need advice, they don't need help. So at this point, you're being forgotten. So I think it's a very good time to, filter also friends, people, colleagues, just, to rebuild sort of relationship with the surroundings. And this is also good. Sometimes it's not very pleasant, because sometimes you're being surprised by some people. But I think it's very healthy, to have that look from a side.
You touch a very valid point. In a time of crisis, you really know who are your friends. You know who to filter in and filter out of your life. And it is very apparent. I had a situation where, like I was saying yesterday, I'm not going to go in a taxi. I'm not going to go in a bus. I have to do my grocery shopping. And 3 people would help me out. And I know they've got my back. And from here on, if they talk to me, they want me to be available for them, I am going to hold their back. I'm in communication with them, but some people, even family members, don't reach out to you at this time to say, how are you? Are you okay? And this is where you know who's really there for you,
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw in a really funny question now. People don't like to ask this, but how has your love life been affected by COVID-19? Or has it been affected by COVID-19?
Okay, so this is a very good topic for me because how funny wouldn't it be? But my life is so extreme. So I fell in love probably first time in my life so strongly, and it happened somewhere in the middle of February, where we never thought the quarantine will be on and things will be this way. And despite all of this happening now, I kind of feel I'm so happy. I mean, it is very difficult because it's just the beginning of my relationship. And it's quite complicated because at this time you would like to be with the person more often and, to get to know each other and maybe go through things and get closer. But, we need to kind of understand what time is now, and we need to be kind of very careful and stuff like that. And it is big obstacle, but in the same time, I'm so happy because this lifts me up so much energetically. And I constantly feel that everything I do at home, even when I felt really bad, as I said, with this coronavirus, just gives me such a positive hope about all of it. So I'm very, very happy about this. And I think it's so unexpected as well, because as I said, people who had relationship a long time before this happened, some of them separated. Yeah.
My relationship fizzled during COVID-19. Yeah, it fizzled. We started up and we couldn't go any further because the person is in the line of fire. They've seen bodies coming in and out. And I think it's basically, okay, Joan, I don't want to tie you down in case something happens to me, but we're still friends. We're still friends. It's not bad blood, but I think didn't want to have the burden of all this stress going on at the workplace and then bringing it into a relationship, and you can't really see or date the person. So just said, let's be friends. I said, okay,
yeah,
it is what it is. Now, there's a question coming up for Eva on the screen. Can you see it? You're the only one who could read this, Eva. We can't read it. Have you seen the question? There's a question for you being asked.
About food.
It's in a foreign language. None of us can read it.
Okay, so I'm going to translate. This is like quite a rough question. It says, Eva, what you going to do? How are you going to deal with the situation where there's not going to be enough food in your kitchen anymore?
That's a nice one. She's going to be just like everybody else, looking for more food.
Yeah. My God, that's so rude. But anyway,
no, but all of us, it's a valid question. What are we going to do? Look. We are all women of curves on this channel. We're all women of curves, and we do eat. We have healthy appetites. We don't starve. You can see we are full-figured women, all 3 of us, and we will just bake. Yeah, we make sure it has food in the fridge. We are smart. We make sure we have our supplies. Okay, so I think
basically, well, this is like a sample. I think, I wanted to mention very important thing. I don't understand why, shops like, for example, Tesco's or Waitrose or, Sainsbury's, why they not prepared for this? Because I understood if you would require some products, that you can't even find in every shop. But at this moment, it's just essentials. And it's so hard because every single day I'm checking the slots to book for home delivery. It's nothing available for like 3 months. I think I wait for like 2 months. This is, I don't understand.
This is the thing, you don't understand this, but this is what it is. The waiting list for the grocery stores online delivery is months. So you're going to starve. But we've got another question coming in from someone saying, do you have any anxiety during this time? And how do you cope with that? It's coming from Rutha, I think. Rutha?
Yeah.
Rutha?
Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm not, as I said, I'm a very it's hard to believe maybe sometimes, but I'm very home person. And as I said, being alone, even I wasn't staying alone for too long, it's nothing wrong for me. I mean, when I was a child, I always had my own world. I started reading very early. I always had my toys and stuff. I didn't need anybody, so I can cope with this very well. Well, maybe, talking again about the relationship, it was a time, a quite long time that we couldn't see each other. And, especially because I was ill, and even if that would be opportunity to meet, I really felt like, I don't want to infect anybody. So, that was quite bad anxiety, because when you're missing someone and you just want to hug someone.
Yeah.
But everything else. Yeah.
Sorry about it. I was just talking about a hug. People are forgetting how valuable a hug is at this time. We all like being hugged, the importance of touch. And in this period of COVID-19, we are distancing ourselves instead of coming closer. We are distancing ourselves. Courtney, I'd like to invite Courtney back to the talk room. And how do you have any anxieties during this time of COVID-19 lockdown? And how are you coping with those anxieties?
No, I don't have any anxiety. I have my bar filled with rum. Every time I feel lonely, I take a drink, I gargle to kill any virus. And I have friends, and we Zoom a lot, we talk a lot. And, you got to create your own sense of civility. And you have your wife next to you, you have close friends, but we keep our distance. You develop new coping skills. It's like how some people have to learn how to listen instead of just talking all the time. This is a good period for us to develop coping skills.
What else is helping you apart from rum and apart from your wonderful wife? What can we do at home to feel a bit more positive? Because you seem like a man who is very proactive, very positive, and I'm sure you can help us as well.
Well, like I said, get engaged in things that you always wanted to do and you really didn't have the time to do. Now you have all this time. So if it's reading, if it's baking, cooking, if it's contacting friends you haven't contacted for many years, single. And like I said, with Zoom, with Facebook, with Messenger, with WhatsApp, just get to know somebody again. Say, oh, this person have been speaking to me, but you make that first step and call them. You initiate that first move. They will be happy to hear from you, and somebody else would return that favor to you. Absolutely. So it's a way of reconnecting.
Yes. Yeah. It's very easy to sit back and say, nobody wants to talk to me, and you can feel very alone, and other people are feeling like that too. So someone has to make that first step. So I think brilliant advice, just do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You don't get a reply, but if you do, brilliant. It's definitely a time to connect with other people. And I mean, even look at us now, this opportunity. When would I have ever been able to speak to you, Courtney, all the way in Canada, you know, this wouldn't have happened. Me and Joan, we actually never met in person. So this has connected us, and we're learning about each other, and we're growing together, and we have to be grateful for that, I think, and embrace actually this time that we have been given.
But I want to make one comment. In making that first step, it also should be with family, because for too often we have had a strange relationship with relatives and family, and we focus on the friendship with friends. Try to reconnect with family, because they are also hurting. They need that little touching by phone or by Skype or by whatever. So that's my message for today, that reconnectivity with friends and family.
Thank you for that, Courtney. This I can strongly relate to, because we had a big rift in my family for many years, and only just this past Christmas we all got together. So thanks to my mum and dad and my auntie and uncle, they actually reached out and they spoke and they mended the relationship. And then they planned this amazing Christmas party for us. And I saw family members who I'd never met, because they're my cousins, you know, children. And I saw cousins who I haven't seen in years and years and years. And it was really wonderful. And I can't wait for this to be kind of over, so I can see these family members again, because finally we're connected. And I think that's such an important point as well. You know, don't forget your family. So thank you for highlighting that.
Don't distance yourself. You might be distant from your family by miles, thousands of miles, but a phone call will help. You know, reconnect with people. And it's a good thing for all of us. A lesson for us today. We need to reconnect with each other, stay connected, and at this period of staying at home, being locked down, and all these negative words, stay at home, lockdown, you feel like you're in jail. Some people
We're
feel
actually
really
lucky, aren't we? We're really lucky.
You can coin the term, stay at home, but don't be alone.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because it's going to impact on people who suffer from seasonal depression, mental illnesses, and fear of being on their own. These people, reach out to them, and we're advising people who are at home feeling sorry and sad and alone. Call someone, connect to someone. It's a way of keeping yourself, your mind and yourself mentally healthy. It's a healthy thing to do. So please connect with those around us. I want you all to remember to like, share, click on the button, make your comments, and tell us what you like about the show, and tell us what you don't like about things. You know, even Stephen. We've got another person coming up. 3 things you all will do after social distancing, and I am going to answer that question first thing I'm on the mic. I am going to hug someone. I really miss hugging someone. I'm a huggy person. I like hugging people. I want to go for a walk with someone, and I want to be able to hug them and say, I love you. What about you, Eva? What you like to do?
You know what? I'm very maybe sounding materialistic, but as I'm hugging someone already, actually you can hug your pillow, is the same thing. So basically,
no, the pillow is not the same. The pillow is not the same.
I'm just gonna come back to the gym. I just like miss this activity so much. I miss the pool. I miss the jacuzzi. All of this thing that I used to be doing like at least 2-3 times a week. I definitely go to my hairdressers and I definitely will do my nails.
We empathize with you. I need to have my hair sorted. I really, really do. I was talking to Emily earlier this morning, the things I want to do to myself, but I can't do it because of the COVID-19 lockdown. Emily, what about you? What are you going to do as soon as this lockdown enforcement has come off? What are you going to do?
I'm going to run home. I'm going to hug my mum and dad and squish them and squeeze them and say, I miss you so much, because I'm here at my boyfriend's, which is really, really nice. But I do miss home, because I would usually be at home. So that's one thing. I'm going to hug my family. I really want to see my sister. She is all the way in Brighton, so she's over 300 miles away. So I'm going to run home. I'm going to run to Brighton. What else? Oh, and I think have a big meetup with my friends. Hopefully it'll be sunny, big barbecue, music, food, good times. How about you, Courtney?
Oh, brilliant. Courtney. Hello, Courtney. How about you? What you gonna do?
Well,
What are the 3 things you like to do?
okay, May 18th. May 18th is my 40th wedding anniversary, and we were planning to do something. And with this lockdown, we can't do anything. So that's the first priority in our books, is to get the family and friends together and have a massive celebration. That's the first thing. The second,
congratulations, 40th anniversary. Congratulations to you and your wife. Yeah.
Thank you. Then the second thing is to go back to the drawing board. We have had 3 flights canceled because of this. We can't fly. So we have the tickets there delayed. So we just waiting for them to lift that ban, and we will be on our way to visit the 3 places we wanted to go and visit. And last but not least is to get your hands back into your projects that we've been working on. So those are the prioritized in that order. And other than that, just have fun, enjoy life.
Yes, that's what life is for, folks. You've got to remember, despite being at home, you can still blast some music, not too loud to disturb the neighbors, like I did on the weekend. One of our neighbors started blasting music at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. I was hearing people knocking. I'm living in an apartment, so people were knocking. Enjoy yourself. You could put on the television, put on the music at a decent level. You could dance at home, stand up on the banners, pull the curtains and open the windows and dance, sing. You might be a good singer like some of us, but dance, sing, enjoy yourself, call folks, just go out there and have fun, because that's what life is all about, having fun. Yeah. Oh, guys, now we are actually coming down to the countdown and to the end of our show. We like to thank everyone who has tuned in and listened and who has asked questions. We like to thank our guest, Courtney Doldron, who is all the way in Canada, and also our dear Eva believer, who is in London like myself. And thank you for my co-host, Emily. I think we did a brilliant job today. I'm going to say that. I'm going to holler out and say we did a brilliant job today. And I was so pleased having all of you all here today. The conversation was brilliant. And thank you so much. And everybody at home, remember, stay safe, stay connected. And Emily, give us the closing speech today.
Oh, a speech. Okay. Let me get mine.
I did mine. Now it's your turn.
I'm really, really grateful that we are able to do this. It's given me some sense of purpose, actually, in addition to what other things I enjoy doing. But this has been brilliant, because I would still be in bed by now if it wasn't for the pandemic diary. I would just be laying there dreaming the day away. So I want to thank you and thank Moinul for putting us together, and to be able to speak to such amazing, inspirational people. Eva, it's been beautiful seeing you again. I miss you. We should have been shooting together really soon. We should have been shooting
to Spain, to shoot this pure cat for the new swimwear. I hope it's gonna happen anytime soon.
I know, that's sad. Hopefully we can still do that. And we actually were modeling for the same company. We did a different day, and then they wanted us together, and they want to take us abroad. So it will happen, Eva. Can't wait for that.
Yes. Probably a bit later on, but I believe it is gonna still happen.
It will.
Okay. We're gonna stay positive about everything. And we want everybody else to stay positive about life, despite of the COVID-19 shutdown and affecting the entire world. There's still life at the end of the tunnel.
There is.
And like to say to our guests, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And bye for now.
Much.
Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.